Let's get started. Yeah, good morning, everybody. I hope you're well on this very warm Saturday morning. So yeah, today I'm just going to be going over how to get the most out of what has been the most proven, one of the most proven strategies to generate leads and sales for your business, which is Facebook ads, which has, it's been fair to say, struggled in the last 10, 12 months due to significant changes due to iOS. Which you may or may not be aware of, but effectively it's led to Facebook ads, the strategy to be tougher, so and more expensive for the advertisers to run those ads. So I'm here today to share with you the proven strategies that we've used to ensure that it hasn't really impacted our advertisers. So the businesses that use us to spend hundreds of thousands a year on ads is still very much successful and profitable for them. So the agenda today, so I'm going to be talking about the changes and the challenges and the solutions to iOS. So then you can understand how you can overcome them, because I've seen far too many stories where people have literally relied on Facebook ads for their business. These changes have happened and they've given up because they feel it's too difficult, too expensive now to run them profitably. But the truth is that's not the case. And yeah, I'm going to be explaining why Facebook ads are still good despite these changes. And I'm also going to be sharing one change last year to Facebook ads that was actually a really good thing. So iOS came about Q3 of last year, so late in 2021, and it caused a lot of issues, but Facebook also introduced one very positive change during that time as well. And I'm going to be sharing the golden rules that we use to run our client ad campaigns 365 days a year, 24/7, in order to ensure that they get the best results from the ad spend that they're spending. And as I say, they have a significant investment that they're spending hundreds of thousands on ads each year, and they're doing that because they see a great return. But it's fair to say it's been more of a challenge since the iOS changes. So I'm going to be sharing with you exactly the rules that we follow, that I've built up over the last 5 years, so you can get more for less out of your Facebook ads. And then if we've got time at the end, we'll do a Q&A. So if you want to write down any questions as we go along, and I'll go back and answer them. So first of all, let's talk about what it is you want to be getting from your Facebook ads. When I'm talking about getting more for less, like what is that more? So firstly, quantity. So getting a large number of leads and traffic through to your pages, through to your landing pages, your lead magnets, your offers, your webinars, your events. That is the first thing that you want to be getting. You don't just want to be playing with small numbers that you can get for free organically. You want to be looking at hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. Now, the second thing you really want to be getting is quality as well. So it's one thing to get 1,000 leads through ads, but if those leads are not your ideal target audience, they're not going to benefit from the learnings and the benefits that you and your services and products can offer them. Therefore, they're less likely to be engaged and less likely to buy from you. Therefore, your investment on the ad spend has been a waste of money and a waste of time for everybody involved. So you need to ensure that, yeah, you get hundreds and thousands of leads, but they need to be the right leads. Otherwise, you're better off not bothering in the first place. And then, of course, the third and final thing that you want to get from your ads is you want those leads, those large numbers of high quality leads, you want them to be cost effective. And that has always been a challenge with any paid traffic, especially since iOS. But in general, ads is you're trading money for leads. You're effectively buying leads. But the cheaper you can keep them whilst maintaining that quantity and quality means that you'll then get more profit and a greater profit margin on the back end, and a greater return on your investment, which is great for everybody involved as well. Now, the problem is it's easy to get one or two of these three things that you want to be getting from ads, but getting all three simultaneously is difficult. So for example, getting quality leads it's harder to get high quality and high quantity. Not impossible, just difficult. And likewise, if you're looking to get thousands of leads of high quality, it's hard to then do that cost effectively as well. But we've really created a very good balance with how we run our clients' ads. So we can deliver all three of these, which then maximizes the return for the client. And yeah, and then then they have more budget to then put into more ads, and they just keep growing. I've seen businesses, and it's fair to say that the ads we've ran for businesses have helped them grow significantly and fast. But yeah, these are the three things that you absolutely want to be getting from your ads. So what have these iOS changes been? So I'll keep the technical stuff out of it, and I'll keep it nice and simple. So effectively, iOS is the software that Apple devices use, their operating software, and they did some changes and had some updates, as they constantly do. But they had some changes, as I say, last year, that have effectively meant that anyone using Apple devices, Apple phones, tablets, etc., can effectively opt out from seeing your Facebook ads, which, as I'm sure you can imagine, is a significant issue to be facing, especially because about 25% of smartphone users, and rising fast, are Apple phones and iOS device users. So your target audience is getting smaller by the day, and that, of course, then means that there's less leads to acquire, and you're having to pay more to acquire them. So it's much harder and much more expensive overall. Now, it's also fair to point out that these changes are great for the consumer, because it gives the everyday consumer control over the ads that they see. But for us advertisers, for us businesses that are running Facebook ads and advertising using them, it's not at all helpful. But it's also not impossible as well. So the challenges that this has led to, so smaller audience pools. So and as I'll come on to, Facebook has literally billions of day-to-day active users, but a significant chunk, up to 25%, if not more, are unlikely to see your ads and can choose not to. Therefore, that audience pool is significantly smaller, which, as I say, rises your costs and decreases the overall leads that you're getting. Another challenge is unreliable conversion tracking. So an essential part of running any paid ads, not just Facebook, is being able to track where your results come from. So you have different audiences, different ads running with different copy, images, video, etc. You need to know which of those are generating the leads as cheaply as you want them, and equally you need to know which ones are not, so you can put your money and allocate it in the most cost-effective way. Now, since iOS, that has meant that Facebook is no longer reliably able to track the results that your ads are getting. Therefore, you're effectively blind to the results you're getting, which means you cannot optimize, you cannot maximize your return, you cannot ensure that you get more for less. You're very much blind to the information that you need. So as I said, this all then leads to rising costs, lower results, and you're fighting other advertisers, and you're fighting over smaller pools of audiences. But it's not the end of the world, and that is very much what I want to get across today, and show why it's not the end of the world. Because it's fair to say that these changes last year did create a lot of panic. I'm not ashamed to say that the changes kept me up at night many times before and after the initial changes, because I was panicking, how it would impact our clients, therefore our business. And yeah, there's some businesses have literally stopped running ads entirely because they saw that it was too difficult. But it's not impossible, and yeah, it might be more difficult now, but I'll be showing you today, how to overcome that. So what are the solutions to these problems that iOS have caused? So firstly, in relation to the tracking issue, you want to invest in third-party tracking software, which allows you to then see your results about 99.9% accurate. This then allows you to then optimize and maximize how many leads you're getting in and results for the lowest possible cost. So yeah, as I say, this is third-party tracking software. There's many options out there. The most well-known is US-based Hyros, but that is known to be very expensive because they do dominate a significant chunk of the market. We personally use software called AnyTrack, and they're UK-based, and their customer support is great, and they're also cost-effective. So we definitely recommend them. And yeah, what that allows us to do is see where the results are coming from. Therefore, we can maximize our client spend and our own spend, because we, of course, use Facebook ads for our own business. And therefore, that overcomes that tracking issue nearly entirely. The second thing to counter the difficulties that iOS has and is causing is to manage your ads better. So one thing that many people mistake with ads is they put all the effort into creating the ads, the ad copy, the visuals, but then they just leave the ads running. They let the Facebook algorithms, and they just leave everything to happen, and then they see little results for far too much cost. And then they say and think that Facebook ads are bad, but they're missing out on the key component, which is the day-to-day management. So later on, I'll be going over the rules and showing you exactly how we manage the ads day to day, so you can then get better results. Because yeah, by managing your ads better is enough to just get significantly better results at lower cost by itself, even without the tracking software and other things I'll be talking about. It is that critical, and it is where many advertisers go wrong. And another thing that you really need to be doing with all your ads is following a very simple 3-step process of test, measure, and optimize. So this is where you test different ads, you measure the results, and then you optimize, you make changes according to what those results are telling you. So this is linked back very much to the tracking software, without which you cannot accurately measure, therefore you cannot accurately optimize. What you want to be doing constantly with your ads is testing different ads, different audiences, different visuals, measuring their results, and then optimizing accordingly. So putting more money into those that are working best, turning off the ones that are not, and going from there and constantly following that process. So why are Facebook ads still good despite these iOS changes? So we know that Facebook ads is dominated for many years in terms of marketing strategy, and it has definitely faced its biggest challenge since the iOS changes. But why were Facebook ads good originally, and why are they still good now despite these challenges that I'm sharing? So firstly, you've got that huge audience pool that quite literally is several billion day-to-day active users on Facebook, which is, I think, about 40% of the world population. So huge, absolutely huge amount of people that you can run your ads to. That alone is a great reason why Facebook ads is great, has always been great, and is still great now. And I do not see that changing anytime soon. So that then meets the first criteria that I mentioned at the start about quantity. The second thing is the precise targeting options that Facebook ads allows you to do. So yes, Facebook has billions of people you can advertise to, but the sad reality is not every one of them will be interested in what you have to promote and say and advertise and what you have to offer people. They're just not going to be interested. That's nothing personal, it's nothing you're doing wrong, it's just you cannot serve everybody. So you need to be able to precisely target your ads to ensure that you're not wasting money running ads to the wrong people, and therefore ensure that you collect only quality leads, which is, as I said, the second criteria that I mentioned at the start. So what you're able to do with Facebook ads is you have the benefit of having billions of people, but then you can precisely target your ideal target audience. Therefore, you're not wasting money running ads to the wrong people. And thirdly, Facebook ads gives you great control day to day over how your ads spend. Therefore, you're able to very much control the results that you're getting out, and more or less the day-to-day cost for acquiring those leads and those sales, those customers, those clients, etc. So all this combined allows you to create a large number of high quality leads cost effectively. And this hasn't changed since iOS. Yeah, it's harder, absolutely, but it is easy to overcome using the third-party tracking software that I mentioned and the day-to-day management, which are the rules that we follow, and that I'll be sharing with you shortly. So iOS was the biggest change to come to Facebook ads and paid ads in general last year. And yeah, for the consumer, it was good. For us advertisers, it was bad. But it wasn't all bad last year. There was one significant change to Facebook ads alone that is actually a really good thing and has also helped counter iOS. I'm sure that Facebook were working on it anyway, but it definitely came in good time to help counter iOS. So I'm going to share what that is, because it has been very critical to running more or less any kind of ads post iOS to ensure you get those results at the lowest possible cost. So this change is improvements to Facebook lead forms. So what are Facebook lead forms? So Facebook lead forms are effectively a landing page and a mini website that is hosted by Facebook. So a landing page, as I'm sure you'll know, is hosted externally. So it could be on your website, it could be using landing page software such as ClickFunnels, or as Jay mentioned earlier, lead pages. There's many other options, but I know those are the best performing and are the most well-known. But yeah, there are many options. So landing pages are effectively mini websites that you can host externally and drive traffic to for very specific purposes and call to actions. Now, what the Facebook lead forms do is it allows you to host a landing page, but on Facebook itself. And that has many benefits and many disadvantages as well. But overall, it is actually, and it has actually become a really good thing to do. So before the changes, so Facebook lead forms have been around a few years, but before the changes made late last year, they were easy to use. But the problem is it lacked many of the landing page aspects and detail that you normally associate with standard landing pages. So this could include having great visuals, a great design, lots of moving features. You can have videos on there, different images. You can have nice looking copy, and there's so much you can play about because you're effectively creating a mini website. Now, before the changes, lead forms didn't have that, which meant that the quality of the leads, the people coming through your Facebook lead form was poor. Now, this is because a key part of getting quality leads through is by having the information that is relevant to your target audience. So your landing page, your lead form, and your ads, what you want to be doing is you want to be attracting the right kind of people, but you also want to be putting the wrong kind of people off as well. But without the detail that landing pages normally has, you weren't able to then get that quality. So what you were getting with Facebook lead forms was quantity, because it's easy to fill in a lead form as opposed to going to an external page. But without that detail, the quality of the leads was poor, which meant it wasn't a great alternative. It was something that our business used slightly for our clients, but because of that issue with quality, we didn't use it much at all. So yeah, as I say, you at the time you could get large numbers of leads cost effectively, primarily because it was so easy to use. Compared to going to an external landing page, like it would load up instantly. In many cases, it also pre-populates people's information from their Facebook profile, meaning you could get leads much faster than if you send them to a landing page. So yeah, you could get large numbers cost effectively, but the quality was poor. Therefore, I deemed it not worthwhile at the time to run for our clients. But since the changes, so the changes have meant that the Facebook forms have very much been improved now. There's much more detail and control to turn it into a much more engaging and high performing landing page. So yeah, as I say there, yeah, much more detail. You have much more control over what you can put on there, which then very much allows you to control the kind of leads that you're getting in, allows you to get the quality, because you're able to really put in the detail about who your offer or your lead magnet is, or your webinar, your event, your challenge, whatever you're running ads to, you're able to in greater detail share who that is for, and what the benefits are, and just as importantly, who it's not for. Therefore, you're putting off the wrong kind of people, attracting the right kind of people, therefore getting that quality that is absolutely essential. So now, Facebook lead forms are not only easy to use, which gets you large numbers cost effectively, but they also have much more detail. You can do a lot more with them, allowing you to then ensure a greater quality of lead, which makes it very much a win-win-win. So what I'm going to do now is show you a very quick example of what a Facebook lead form is. If you've never used them before for your ads, chances are you've probably seen them on Facebook when you've clicked other ads. They do, and it's fair to say they still look quite bare bones compared to a normal landing page, which can be quite bright. But it is a big improvement. And since these changes, we've gone from using Facebook lead forms for about 1% of our client ads to easily 60-70% now, because they're just so much better in getting quantity, quality, cost effectiveness. And I do not foresee that changing at all. They're a fantastic tool. They don't work in every case, and I'll share some cases where they don't work. But yeah, let's have a very quick look at a lead page. So the quality is not great because it's zoomed in, but effectively what you've got is at the top of the lead page, you can have an image, either that being your ad image or another image, and then what have I done? There we go. And then what we've got is a title and then plenty of information. So originally, before the changes, you couldn't put a lot of this information in, which meant the quality was poor. People didn't know what they were signing up for. And then you also have the form stuff at the bottom. And as I say, in a lot of cases, Facebook is able to auto-populate this form with the information that your audience has on their Facebook profile, which makes opting into anything, signing up for anything, so much quicker and easier, which is a significant reason why it does so well. Then what happens? So this is usually your landing page, and yeah, it's fair to say it doesn't look amazing compared to a lot of landing pages, but it still does work well. So on the initial landing page, you've got the title, and you can put lots of information. So this example here was a webinar that I ran back in January, very much on the same topic I'm talking about here. And yeah, people could put their details in many cases auto-populated. They then click next. There's then a compulsory terms and conditions that basically just ensures that the leads you're gathering and the processes you're following are very much GDPR compliant. So basically you have a link to your terms and conditions, your privacy policy, etc. But yeah, people just tend to very rarely check them. I'm sure that's something that many of you watching, you don't tend to read a lot of these terms and conditions you're signing up for. You just click the submit. But if people want to, then they very much can. And then, yeah, as soon as they click submit, then their information has been captured, and they have opted into whatever you're offering. You can then have a thank you page that basically explains the next steps. So, for example, as this was for a webinar, so I basically said, please check your inbox for all the details on the webinar. But then you can also have a call to action and a button to take people to something else. And that is something that you want to be doing as best practice with any kind of marketing that you're doing. And anything that you're getting people to sign up for, you don't just want to say thanks, it's on its way, or thanks, enjoy. You want to say, yeah, thanks, and explain the next steps. Then you want to say, but in the meantime, why don't you check this out? Why don't you do this? And so that's very much what I'm doing here, sending people to our Facebook page. It's very much akin to the kind of strategies that many businesses use day to day. The best example by far is McDonald's. So you go to McDonald's, you ask for what you want, and they ask, you know, do you want a large it, or do you want something else? It's very much a simple upsell. You've gone in there, you've expressed your interest in purchasing. You're already very much bought in. They're just asking if you want something else as well. So that is something best practice that isn't just limited to Facebook ads, but marketing in general. Always ask for if they want something else after they've already signed up, because they're very eager, because they've just signed up for something. So as long as it's something relevant and of interest and of use to them, then a lot of people will take it up, and there's very little effort on your part to set that up and deliver upon that. So that is a very simple overview and example of a Facebook lead form. And as I say, they do so well now. Literally 10 months ago, I couldn't imagine using them much at all because of that quality issue. But after those changes, we could not do without it. Our clients couldn't do without it. It works so much well to counter iOS, because yeah, it just helps get that quantity, cost effectiveness, and now because of those changes, that quality as well. So it's absolutely amazing. But there's some disclaimer attached. So firstly, it's not usable. Facebook lead forms are not usable in every single situation. For example, if you're wanting to run ads directly to a sales page and order form, Facebook lead forms in their current state cannot take payments. So that is not an option right now. So yeah, any kind of ads where you're doing it directly to a sales page, to a warm audience, or to any kind of offer, you can't take payments. You have to send them to a website, an external landing page. Now that said, Facebook launched, I think it was about the same time last year as the upgrades and the improvements to Facebook lead forms. They also introduced something called instant experiences. This is similar to Facebook lead forms, but is for e-commerce and any kind of selling. And effectively, it allows you to create a compact, compressed version of a sales page and order form on Facebook. So that is very much your alternative for any ads that you run into a direct sales and promotion where people are having to give you money then and there. Yeah, that also applies for any paid events, webinars, challenges, whereby you take a payment upfront or a deposit. So one of the most significant uses of our Facebook lead forms for our clients is filling events, webinars, and challenges. It's something that our clients use for the most. Probably 70–80% of all the ads we run is to fill webinars, events, and challenges. And the reason for that is because the strategy of getting sign-ups, getting them in a room, whether it's physically or virtually like we are here today, giving them tons of value and content and building up their trust of you, and then selling to them, that is such an effective, proven method for pretty much any business in any industry. It's just such an effective way of getting the greatest return from your ad spend. Therefore, it's something we recommend to specialize in the most from ads. But yeah, any free webinars, challenges, lead magnets, etc., Facebook lead forms is absolutely the way to go. Yeah, as I literally said there, lead magnets, webinars, events, challenges, it's absolutely amazing. Literally this time last year, like I would never have considered it. It was just not in the right stage for our clients. Our clients pay us to get them large numbers of leads cost effectively, but they need to be the right quality, otherwise they cannot nurture them, they cannot give them value, they cannot sell to them, therefore it's been a waste of time and money. So we need to get that quality, and Facebook lead forms definitely helps us to do that. And yeah, it works for any other ads that has a call to action conversion to something free. So like lead magnets, there's so many different versions of lead magnets. You can have free guides, videos. What else could you have? You could have a quiz, a survey, a checklist, anything that people can download or engage with for free. Facebook lead forms is absolutely the way to go with that. So as I mentioned early on about the solutions to iOS, one of the biggest by far is how you manage the ads day to day. And there's very much two parts to successful Facebook ads and ads in general. But we're here to talk about Facebook ads today, and that is our specialty. But yeah, there's very much two parts to the recipe, if you like, to creating and getting the best Facebook ads that you can. So firstly, you need 50% of your effort and time needs to be put into the ad itself. So the copy, the visuals, the audience, and analyzing the audience, understanding them, and creating the best kind of offers and setting the ads up in the right way. But the other half of the recipe, the formula, is the day-to-day management. And the reason why this is so significant is because even the best looking ads, the best written ads, the best targeted ads could very easily fail if you manage them badly. And I've seen that happen many times before. And it's why people try ads for the first time and think, oh, Facebook ads just don't work. They believe that, and they've put a lot of time, money, resource into creating this ad copy, the visuals, it's really well designed, and they're just not performing. But that isn't down to the ad itself, nor is it down to the Facebook ad platform itself. It's because the advertiser isn't managing the ads properly. Equally, even average quality ads that may have been rushed, not put that much effort into, may be a bit badly designed, maybe they've been done on Canva by the advertiser themselves because they don't have the time and resource and money to use a proper graphic designer. Maybe they're not great at copy and they can't afford a copywriter. Maybe they're just rushed for time and they just haven't put a lot of time and effort into it. Even ads like that, when managed well, can easily succeed more than great looking ads that have been managed badly. It is very much, it is so critical, absolutely critical, and is absolutely key to why our clients pay us to run and create their ads, because we manage it in the right way. Not only do we create the great ads with using best practices, but we manage it in the best way. So every single day we're getting the best return for the lowest cost. So a few other things to go over before I go on to the golden rules that we use to follow, that we use and follow day to day for our clients. And firstly, this is on opinion versus data. So what do I mean by this? So we as advertisers, as business owners, as marketeers, we are not our target audience. So what we believe is good in ads, or what we believe to be bad in ads or marketing in general, is quite frankly irrelevant. Our opinion doesn't matter. Yes, we have experience and we know our audience well, but we are not them. Therefore, it's never going to be that accurately. What you want to be doing instead is relying on data with your Facebook ads. You want to be, creating ads that you believe your target audience wants and will react well to. But ultimately, you need to look at the results and the data coming through before determining whether it's good or not. until you do that, your opinion is more or less invalid. It's not going to help you. If anything, it's going to send you in the wrong direction. And this is another reason why people can end up with results that are disappointing for high cost, because they believe the ad is amazing, but there's no data, there's no proof for that, because the proof that's coming through, the data, the response is coming through is, well, it's not, because people are not engaging, they're not signing up, they're not giving details or any information, therefore it's not. But because we as the owner or the advertiser believe so, then they're misunderstanding why their ads are going wrong. And yeah, we could literally argue forever over what kind of image video copy is best or is worth running versus which isn't. But ultimately, it's just best to test them all and let your actual audience tell you what is best by looking at the results that your ads get. Do not be clouded by your own opinion or the opinion of people around you, unless they are your target audience. Their opinion has some merit, but not enough to warrant you making business critical decisions on. You need to test and let your target audience themselves show you what works. And absolutely, you do not want to be assuming that one type of ad will work and not another based upon your own opinion. The saying goes, you don't want to assume because you make an ass out of you and me. And it's very much true with Facebook ads and marketing in general. Do not assume, oh, this marketing campaign, this ad will do amazing. Yeah, hopefully, absolutely it will. But we need to be realistic and just try it and let's see. And yeah, hopefully in the best will in the world it will, but in many cases it won't, because it's based upon your own views and you are not your target audience. So absolutely do your best to avoid making those kind of mistakes. So let's come on to the golden rules. Now, as I say, these are very much taken from our day-to-day activities. We run Facebook ads for clients every single day of the year, because that is the best way of getting results, constantly being over them. But as a start of, let's talk about the ad creation themselves. So before we come on to the day-to-day management, which is the other half of the formula for success, let's look into the ad creation side first. So firstly, when creating any kind of ads, you want to create different versions of your ad copy, your ad text that people can see and read. And usually you want a combination of short copy and long copy. So you want this because it's critical to testing and seeing what your audience prefers. But it's also important because some people are busy, they're short of time, they're quick to make decisions. They would rather see an advert that is short, quick to the point, and they can decide whether they want to take any action or just keep going, keep scrolling through their news feed or going about their day. Now, other people are more detailed. So myself, for example, I'm very detailed. I like to read everything to understand it. Therefore, long copy ads usually is more attracting and appealing to me. Therefore, by having both and testing both, you appeal to best of both worlds. And again, you're not assuming that your audience likes short or long copy. And in most cases, your audience will be torn between the two. And some people might like both. But ultimately, you need to be testing both to see what works the best, because without having a crystal ball, you just don't know for sure until you test. And you, as I say, you don't want to assume anything. You don't want to base anything upon your own opinion. Now, very much in that same light, you want multiple media for your ads. So multiple different images and videos. You can have multiple images in one ad through a carousel, which I'm sure you've seen, where you can scroll through multiple images, or you can have a single video. Now, again, like the short and long copy, different people react to different mediums. Some people prefer images, some people prefer videos, some people prefer either. But again, you just don't know until you try and test both. So when you're creating any kind of ad campaign, whether it's your first or just one of many, you want multiple copy and multiple media. You also need multiple ad sets. So if you know Facebook ads well and you've already run them before, then you'll know what ad sets are. But for those of you that haven't used them before, ad sets are basically another word for audiences. And Facebook ads allows you to create and configure different audiences, different ad sets. So what you want to be doing is very much in the same vein as the copy and the media, is you want different audiences because you want to test to see which audiences appeal to and are attracted by and respond well to which ads. Now, with your ad sets and audiences, there's very much two categories of audiences. You have warm traffic and cold. So warm traffic could be people who know you already. It could be on your email list already. It could be people who like and follow you on Facebook. It could be people who have watched videos recently. It could be people who have been on your website recently and have taken certain actions. Those are warm traffic to people who already know you. They're warmer to you. Now, in the other side, you have cold traffic, people who do not yet know you. They may have heard of you, but they've not consumed enough content to start warming up to you. And using all the different targeting options that Facebook ads has, you can run an awful lot of different ads to different cold audiences. So yeah, you'll want a combination of different copy, different images and video, and different ad sets as well. Now, linked to ad sets, one of the amazing options that you have with Facebook ads in terms of creating ad sets and audiences is something called lookalikes. So the best way of explaining this is if you have an email list of 10,000 people, these are people who have given you their information, they are target audience, they know you, they are interested, they are your ideal target audience. What you can do is you can put that information into Facebook. Facebook will analyze their interests, their demographics, and create an audience of 100,000 of people that are very similar. And because they're similar, they are more likely than other ads to more likely than other audiences to be interested in what you have to say. Therefore, they're great to use. Now, these are called lookalikes. Now, as with anything in Facebook ads, there's many options with lookalikes. The one you want to be doing when creating lookalikes is the 1% lookalike. Basically, the percentage refers to how large you want the lookalike list to be. Now, the larger the audience, the broader they are, the less they have in common with your initial list. Therefore, you want it to be as small as possible, which is 1%. So when creating any lookalikes, which you absolutely do want to be doing when creating any audiences for any ad campaign, and your lookalikes, you always want them to be 1%. So the smallest, most refined audience, therefore most likely to be your ideal target audience, ensuring you get quality and good results from your ads. So following on with your ad creation, what you want to be doing is you want fixed equal budgets between each of your different audiences and ads. And for a brand new campaign, you absolutely want to be starting out small with them. You want to be ensuring that you start all of your different ads at a very equal running, so it's a fair race. Therefore, the results and data that you'll get through is accurate and reliable, and you can make decisions based upon it. But especially if it's a brand new campaign, you do not yet know how people will react to what you have to say and offer. Therefore, you need to start small. You don't want to start with large budgets, because the worst case scenario is people do not react well and you burn a lot of money very fast for next to no results. So yeah, start with fixed equal budgets and start small, but when you start to see results, you can then ramp that up accordingly. You also want to connect to conversion tracking third-party software, that, as I mentioned earlier. Now, the only exception to not needing this, and this is another benefit of Facebook lead forms, is because Facebook lead forms is internal on the Facebook platform itself, the data, the results that it returns to you is 100% reliable and accurate, unlike any external ads where you're sending people to an external landing page. Now, if you're not running ads using Facebook lead forms, then you need some kind of conversion tracking third-party software in place, because without that, you're blind to the results coming in. Therefore, you cannot optimize. You cannot ensure that you get the most results for the minimum cost. And I don't know about you, but I know personally that me and my clients, we don't like wasting money. We like to get the most out of our ad spend, the most bang for our buck, and therefore we can just grow our businesses and just maximize. And I'm sure absolutely you are the case, and everyone is. Why would you waste money when you can avoid that by taking actions and taking steps to maximize your results, minimize your costs? There's no sense in not doing that. One thing which is a bit of housekeeping, to be fair, but it's still very important, is you want very clear labels on all of your ad sets, your ad ads, your Facebook ads themselves. You need to clearly label so you know what copy an ad is, what image, what video, and then you need to clearly label which audience, which ad sets, whether they're warm or cold. Now, this may seem a bit overkill, a bit obvious, and a bit like it doesn't really matter, like, as long as I know what they are. But when it comes to analyzing your results and ensuring you're optimizing, you don't want to be thinking, which audience is this? You do not want to easily get mistaken and think that one ad is doing better than the others, but actually that ad is a different ad because you've just not labeled it properly. So label it really clearly. Yes, it might take a few minutes. It might seem a bit really, but it is significant, which is why it's in our rules. Another thing to avoid, and this is on your ad set audience creation stage. So at some point last year, Facebook introduced an option called expanded audiences. And in theory, expanded audiences are great. So what they allow you to do is to run your ads to people outside of your ad set, your audience specifications, if Facebook believes that they will benefit you in getting results. So yeah, that sounds great initially. If Facebook can get you more results, then yeah, why wouldn't you? Now, the problem is you cannot accurately see where those results have come from because they're outside of your initial audience. Therefore, you cannot possibly optimize and maximize. So in the short term, yeah, expanded audiences might get you some more results, but if you don't know where they have come from, you cannot capitalize on that. So in the long term, it's actually of no benefit at all. So you always want to say no to expanded audiences. And sometimes, not all times, but when you're creating new audiences, new campaigns, this option is set as default to on. So you want to check and make sure that is off in every single case. So let's look at the next significant part of creating your ads, and that is the ad copy. So all ad copy, in my view, and from 5 years of running ads, and as I say, spending millions on ads successfully, what we found and what I found works best for ad copy is, firstly, starting by asking questions or making some kind of statement that will attract your ideal audience and put off the wrong kind of people as well. So if I was attracting people who need help with their Facebook ads, I might put on my ad, do you struggle to get great results from your Facebook ads? Or I might put, do you want to get more for less from your Facebook ads? Something like that. And that then attracts the right kind of people and puts off the wrong kind of people. So that's the first thing you want to do at the very top, the very start of your ad copy. Then you want to include some key learnings or benefits from whatever your ad is advertising. So if it was a webinar, you want to share the key learnings that people will get by attending your webinar. If it was a lead magnet, a guide, you might mention the key benefits and learnings of what you'll get out of reading this guide. So you definitely need that in all of your ad copy as well. You need to clearly identify who your ad and offer is for, and just as importantly, who it's not for. So in many cases, you can literally create two bullet point lists in your ads. The first one says, this webinar or this lead magnet, this guide, this event, whatever you're promoting, this is for you if blah, blah, blah. And then under that, you'll have a second list saying this is not for you if blah, blah, blah. So if I was to use myself as an example, we were looking for people who need help with their Facebook ads. We might put this is for you if you're not happy with the results you're getting from Facebook ads. And then I'll put under this isn't for you if you're not running Facebook ads at all. That way it's really clear and helps put off the wrong people and attract the wrong people, therefore ensuring that quality. So you want to share your expertise in your ad copy, who you are, who you've helped, a bit of history. This builds up your credibility because you're competing with lots of different people on Facebook ads. People who sadly make some unfounded claims and in some cases outright lie. But you just want to be upfront, honest, and just say, these are the results I've gotten. This is who I work for. This is how long I've been doing it. For example, so if I was to use myself, I might talk about the clients that we work with and run ads for, the results that we get for them, how long we've been doing it, etc. Then you want to set some clear expectations in the copy, so people know what to expect when they take you up on your ad offer. So if it's a webinar, they need to know the dates, the times, the length of the webinar. They need to know what to expect when signing up. Therefore, it's really clear. If it's a lead magnet, if you send it via email, you need to be clear. Expect it in your inbox in 10 minutes and things like that. You just need to be really clear. And this is somewhere people go wrong because they themselves know the process. They know their automation. They know their marketing funnel. Therefore, they assume, oh, everyone else must know how it will work. But never assume. Just make it really clear what to expect. And therefore, people can't go wrong. Your ads can't go wrong. So that is the key golden rules in terms of creating your ads. Now let's come on to the ad management and the day-to-day ad management. And then what we'll do is we'll come on to Q&A before we finish no later than 12:30. So ad management. So the key to our success with our ads and how we manage is through micromanagement. Now this is the opposite to what Facebook themselves advise advertisers to do. And it's fair to say other people who are successful at doing ads do not necessarily do this, but this is what I know to work for us and our clients. Therefore, I do believe it is the best option. So effectively, what we do is we manage the ads day to day, constantly making tweaks very often. Now, in comparison, what Facebook tells advertisers to do is to leave ads on, do not touch them, do not make a single change for days, weeks, regardless of the results they're getting. This therefore, in theory, allows the algorithms to learn and adapt and make your ads more successful. And this may well work for some people, and I know it has. However, in my experience, I've only found that this method is just a fast way of spending money, because what you're doing is you're seeing your ads spending badly. Your ads are getting low results for high cost, but you're relying on the hope and the belief that Facebook will turn that around in coming days and weeks. But in many cases, that doesn't happen. You're just burning more and more money. In some cases, thousands, and you're just seeing no results coming in. It's just madness. Through our strategy of micromanagement, you're making changes early on. Therefore, you're removing the risk of burning money and no results. Yeah, part of this is turning campaign on in early hours and turning off in late hours. Again, opposite of what Facebook suggests, because Facebook says leave it on 24 hours, do not make any changes. We found that it's more efficient to turn them off overnight. Yeah, arguably your target audience, some of your target audience might be awake, they might react to your ads overnight. But the key reason we do this is because Facebook will keep spending your money overnight, and you're not there to control it. Therefore, it's very possible to wake up the next morning and you spent a load of money for next to no results, which nobody wants. Therefore, you want to turn it off at late at night, turn it on in the morning. The only exception to this is if you're running ads worldwide. However, what I would suggest with that is running different ad campaigns to different areas of the world, and therefore turning them on and off depending on the time zones and when is night and day for that particular area. Now, early on in your new ad campaign, you want to be testing different media, different copy, and different combinations of it. So, for example, if you had 2 copy and 2 images, then what you want to do is you want to copy, you want to test copy 1 with image 1, copy 1 with image 2, and vice versa for copy 2. So you want to test different combinations and see what works the best, what gets you the most results for the minimum cost. So you start to get some data from these different tests. You can start to optimize and focus on what gets the best results at the lowest cost, and therefore equally you can then stop spending money on what doesn't work or isn't working as well. And as part of that, you need to start with low budgets each day as well. So each day you're turning your ads back on, start with low budgets, and then you can increase or lower depending on performance during the day. But what you need to be doing is reviewing hourly. And this may seem excessive, and I know there are other strategies which say, you shouldn't be touching ads at all. But again, this is what we found works the best, and our clients pay us and trust us with significant amounts of money to spend their ad, to spend in the best possible way, and this is what we found works the best. So literally reviewing it hourly and making changes, because one ad might start doing really well but decline over the day, one might start doing badly but picks up in the day. They fluctuate and change, so you need to be all over it, checking. And it seems extreme, and I guess it is, but if you want the best results from your ads, then you need to be willing to do that, or accept that you're going to be paying more money for less results. So what else have we got? So the key to testing ads is getting sufficient data, enough data that you can optimize accordingly, but you don't want to spend so long testing that you're burning through too much of your budget. So a great example that I like to use is like fishing in different fishing spots. You want to spend enough time with your rod dangling in the water to see if you can get some fish, and get some catches, but you don't want to spend forever there wasting opportunities to try other ponds, other audiences, other fish. So you need to give it enough time, but not so long that you're wasting too much time or you're spending too much ad budget. You need to know when to move on. So that is really critical as well. And yeah, do not start new ads in the middle of the day. So what you may be tempted to do, you may run some ads early in the morning. They're not doing very well, so you turn them off and you think, well, I've still got half the day left, let's start some new ones. And yeah, in theory, this could work, but it's also risky, which is why I advise against it. Because if you're setting a budget for those new ads halfway through the day, Facebook is suddenly like, well, hang on, you've given us a budget to spend throughout the day, there's only half a day left. They're going to have to spend half of your ad budget very fast to catch up. And they will spend that regardless of the results you're getting. So in most cases, you'll spend a significant chunk of your ad budget very fast for next to no results. Therefore, you just don't want to do that at all. So those are the main rules. And again, everything is around this process of testing, measuring, and optimizing. But the key thing is you never want to stop doing this. So this is why I've got this diagram here where it just goes in a circle, because you never want it to stop. And the reason for this is because even the best performing ad copy, ad media, ad audience will eventually decline. It will start performing badly eventually. And this is because people get sick of seeing the same thing, or your audience slowly, your audience, your pool of target audience slowly declines as you're capturing people. So they will eventually decline. It could be a day, it could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year. Eventually it will decline. That's why you constantly seeing businesses, even the most successful businesses, yeah, they have huge marketing and advertising budgets, but they're not spending it for the sake of it. Surely they'd rather not spend it if they don't have to, but they are having to because their advertising if before then had started to decline, or they know it will, therefore they need to constantly keep on top of it. What you don't want to be doing is leaving it too late. You find a great ad campaign, you leave it for weeks because it's doing great, and then it starts to decline, and then you start thinking about, okay, what else can I do? You want to be testing other stuff in the background so you have alternatives to switch over to when it declines, because it's not a case of if an ad or an ad campaign will decline, it's a case of when. And as I say, that can vary from days to weeks, months, years. But it will absolutely happen. So you need to be ready, and you need to constantly be testing, measuring, and optimizing. So a very quick example of testing, measuring, and optimizing. So yeah, you test 2 different images, you measure and compare the results, and then you simply continue using the one image that performs the best, whether that is most results, cheapest results. Usually it's very clear which does the best, but ultimately, yeah, you want the most results for the lowest cost. That is the best. Therefore, you want to stop doing the worst. That's a very simple version of test, measure, and optimize. So before we come on to the Q&A, just a very quick overview of everything that goes into Facebook ads. It's a very complicated, very detailed process, which is great because it gives us control. But for first timers, it can be a bit overwhelming, and it has to understand what contributes to successful ads. So what I've done is I've created this guide, and as I said, I've been doing ads for 5 years, and I have discovered that the most critical components of Facebook ads that get the best results for you. So what are these? So with your ads, you want to achieve 2 objectives. The first objective is you want people to notice your ads. People are scrolling through their news feed, and most of the time people will not notice your ad. Therefore, if they're not even going to notice it, they're not going to click on it, they're not going to take any action, therefore it's been a waste of time. So your first objective is always got to be to attract people's attention, get your ad noticed. So there's 3 things that contribute to getting your ad noticed. Firstly, you've got the image themselves, or if you're running a video, then it's a video thumbnail that shows as a still image until people click. And then you also have platforms. So if you don't already know, Facebook ads can run across Facebook, Instagram, Facebook Marketplace, Facebook Messenger, and each of those platforms has other platforms inside of them as well, different locations where people can advertise on. So one of them is your news feed, one of them is in the top right-hand corner of your screen when you're on the Facebook dashboard, and there's multiple options that you've got. And again, that is critical to where people are going to notice your ads. So therefore, you need to test that. Now, once you've got people noticing your ads, what is the next step? The next step is you want people to look at your ads and then click, whether it's to a Facebook lead form, to a website, or to somewhere on Facebook. You want them to click and take the next action. So what contributes them to taking that? Now you've got their attention, albeit for a brief moment, what have you got at your disposal to get them to take action? So firstly, the advertiser themselves. So this is the page that you're running the ads from. You have some options here in terms of your name and image and brand. This is critical to getting results. If you haven't got a very good brand, or maybe you've got a bad image or a name that doesn't describe what you do, then you're less likely to get results. It's not impossible, and absolutely brand new advertisers who are not focused, just one of 6 components to consider and factor in. The next thing is you've got the text, the copy themselves, and there's many different options for your ads. You've got the main text box, the display link, headline, description, and call to action button. So there's lots of different things to play with there. But by far, copy is easily one of the most critical components to getting results from your ads, because your copy allows people to understand what you're here advertising and whether it's for them or not. If you're running videos, and videos is a great way of verbally using audio and visuals to explain your text effectively. Ad sets, your ad audiences are critical as well. If you're running ads to the wrong kind of audience, then it doesn't matter how good and attractive your ads are, people are not going to click through because they're just not interested. Therefore, you need to run it to the right ad sets. When you're creating a brand new Facebook ad campaign, you have the option to select a goal for that, and that basically helps Facebook. It helps Facebook optimize themselves to get you the most results. You can't rely upon this, but it helps give Facebook a nudge in the right direction, so Facebook knows what results you're trying to achieve and try and help you along the way. And then the final thing we've got is interaction management. This is where you're interacting with people who are managing people who are interacting on your ads, so leaving comments, shares, etc. This can even include, just replying to people if they're commenting and answering their questions. All this helps build stronger engagement on your ads, and therefore more likely to get people to click through and take action. So before we come into the Q&A, what I want to do is very quickly offer you something special that we're doing this Monday and Friday only. So what I'm going to be doing is opening a number of slots to a free 30-minute strategy call. And on this call, what I will do with you is we'll go over your current ads, look at where your goals, your objectives, where things may not necessarily be going well, and I will give you some actionable steps that you can take straight away to get more for less from your ads, so whereby you get more results for lowest cost. So as I say, yeah, it's only for next week only, Monday to Friday. Now that said, that the strategies that I'll be talking about and going over is only really beneficial to you if you're spending at least $3,000 a month on ads. And that is because the strategies that we do for our clients, we're spending 10,000 plus on average a month on ads. Therefore, our strategies are still valuable, but I want to give you the most value and benefit in the 30 minutes that we have. Therefore, yeah, you really need that minimum monthly spend to really benefit. And yeah, there's limited slots. I can't remember exactly how many we've got open, but I know it's Monday to Friday next week. And yeah, these strategy calls, I do a few each week, and they're very, very popular with people who are just struggling with their ads. So yeah, if you're interested in that, just head to www.impactfulmarketing.co.uk and you can select a slot Monday to Friday next week. And yeah, I look forward to speaking to you then. So let's have a quick look at the Q&A, and what I'm also going to do as well is I'm going to put in the URL for the strategy call. So it should work. Just let me know if there's any issues, and then let's have a look. So if you've got any questions that you haven't already posted, please do now, and I'm just going to start looking back at them. The first question, great question from Robert. So Robert's asked, how does, in relation to Facebook lead forms, how does the information you've captured get delivered to you? So yeah, great question. So what you need really is a CRM, somewhere that stores and looks after your email list and your data. So I personally recommend Infusionsoft or Keep, but there's many other options out there, ActiveCampaign, Ontraport, Kajabi. The most simple and cheapest option would be MailChimp, but it's limited in terms of automation. So once you have something like that, what you can do is you can connect the Facebook lead forms to that CRM using using Zapier, which is a tool that basically links up different softwares and different programs. Alternatively, you can connect your CRM directly to Facebook, depending on what that CRM is. So basically, as soon as someone clicks submit, that lead ends up in your CRM. If you don't have a CRM and you have just a simple spreadsheet, you can just export as a Excel CSV directly from Facebook those leads that you've captured. So I hope that helps, Robert. Another question from Robert: do we monitor and manage ads 24/7? And if so, is it automated, either in-house or outsourced? So yeah, so we are effectively an agency. So we run ads for our clients very much 24/7. So it's entirely in-house. So we have a small team, but we're growing fast. And yeah, we do it all internally. We don't outsource, mainly because I need to know and be able to trust the people. Clients are trusting us with significant amounts of ad spend. We're here to get the best results for them, and yeah, outsourcing to somebody that we don't know and trust is just a no-go. So it's all in-house. You mentioned, is it automated? So there are some automation options that Facebook has, such as like times to turn ads off and things like that, goals not to exceed. So you can do that. However, I found in the past that you can't always rely on that, and that has led to bad results for high costs. Therefore, I've made the decision that we simply do everything manually ourselves. And yeah, this is quite intense, but we love what we do, and it gets the best results from the client. So we're very happy to do that. So yeah, if you're looking at doing it yourself, then yeah, you could rely on these automations. You can set rules and limits and like turn off times with Facebook ads. But yeah, there was a time a few years ago that has scarred me since, where the automation just didn't work properly. So I'd rather just do it manually. And yeah, it's intense, but as I said, that the clients pay us to get the best results. That's what we're here for. We're called impactful marketing for a reason. We're here to make a positive impact on our clients, and this is the best way to do that. So what else have we got? One from Robert. So you're away next week, but you'd like to. Yeah, no problem, Robert. If you just book one anyway and just put in somewhere in the form on Calendly, that's where the link takes you to. If you just put in that you actually need to rearrange and you can't make that time, then I'll make sure that I'll contact you and we can book the week after or whenever you're back from the holiday. But yeah, wherever you're going, I hope you have a great holiday. One last question, which is again, Robert. So how do you deal with out of office hours? Yeah, so great question. So I do a lot of the day-to-day ad management myself. I'm the owner of the business, so you know, I'm happy to do stuff out of hours. We need to maintain a work-life balance, absolutely. But again, my focus is on getting the best results for the client. So this is what it takes. When I can't do it, for example, there's only been one day this year where I've not been able to do it, and that was the day I got married. But I do have other people, other team, and these are people that we very much are clear that, you know, you might have to do stuff out of hours. Yeah, it's all very much done in house, and we know the expectations, and we show everything's covered, because at the end of the day, it's just about getting the best results for the client. So yeah, we've got a few more minutes, so we can finish early if there's no other questions. But yeah, I'll give you another minute while I get a quick drink. Hazel, what's the name of the present software? If you mean the tracking software, then yeah, AnyTrack, that is the best option. Jerry has put, I've had all of my Facebook ad accounts stripped down. Do you have a way of creating new ones? So I've got some good news and some bad news, Jerry. The good news is, for the entire time we've done ads, we've never had a single ad account banned or taken down for any amount of time. The bad news is, I'm not sure the best ways therefore of getting it unbanned or countering that. Now there are a few things I know can work. I assume we've tried appealing and things like that. I do believe it's possible to create a brand new ad account and start running ads, but I believe Facebook may set limits over what you can spend day to day, just to be cautious, given your history. Understandably, it's a free platform, and you know you need to follow the rules and comply with them, and they will probably keep a close eye on you for a while. Again, just given your history. Now, you may have been banned wrongly, or you just didn't understand the rules or whatever. No judgment, but yeah, given your history, they will be more cautious with any new ad account you create. Just given your history, until you've been around running ads long enough that haven't been breaking any rules, have been compliant, and then they'll leave you alone to do as you want. But in terms of how to go about that, as I say, we've literally never had to do that. So I'm not sure how easy that is, but I do know that people have just simply gone about creating new ad accounts and started running ads, and yeah, being fine, just cautiously proceeding. Billy's asked, how do we compare Facebook ads to Google and Instagram ads? So in terms of Instagram ads, when I talk about Facebook ads, I also mean Instagram ads. We run them simultaneously, and we see varying results from both. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Facebook comes with Instagram, Instagram comes with Facebook. Therefore, Instagram is as good as Facebook, which is very good. As for Google, so we do some Google ads, and we are looking at doing more of them. In terms of our experience, they are very saturated for certain industries. And I do know that whilst they can get good results, the cost is significant. But that said, I'm all about, and I hope, as I hope you realize, I'm all about testing. Like, we don't want to assume just because some people say Google's hard, like it may, for your audience, your industry, your offer, work really well. So give it a go. But yeah, I do know in some cases, Google ads can be quite expensive. But that said, we do run some Google ads very profitably as well for clients. So it can do well. If you're looking for a platform to start with, what I would say is, first and foremost, think about your target audience. Where do they hang out? Where are they most likely to be listening to you? And choose your platform accordingly. Now, yeah, I'm naturally biased to Facebook because I've seen what it does. It's absolutely amazing. But other platforms could do as well. So if in doubt, think firstly about your target audience. And if you can, just literally ask them. You know, some people might not be on Facebook. Out of the billions of day-to-day active users, some people might not be on Facebook, but generally a lot of people are. But just ask where they hang out more, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, maybe none. You know, ask where they find out where they get information from, where they look for people. Do they Google? Do they search on YouTube? And go from there, really. But yeah, in my opinion, Facebook ads trumps all. It's a close second with YouTube ads. YouTube ads can be really targeted as well, and they are definitely becoming bigger and bigger. And third behind that, I'd probably say TikTok. That is growing very fast, and I can get some great results for people. But I can't say we've got a huge amount of experience in running them currently. But yeah, I think that's all the questions. So I will leave you to hopefully a lovely sunny and warm weekend, and I hope you have a great one. Thank you for joining us, and yeah, speak to you again. Thanks all for coming. Thanks a lot.